My name's Mike, and today I'm looking at this spruce to style as a literati tree for an internet forum competition. The tree is an old Christmas tree that's been sitting in this pot, well, probably for about 2-3 years now. I've taken off all the dead branches and the big dead leader that was running at the top there, so it's not the most inspiring material for bonsai with this straight trunk and the foliage in the top third of the tree. But I think for a literati tree it'll make a nice subject, and certainly will give some challenges in the styling. How do I go about doing this now? The first thing I will have to do is take the tree out of its pot and have a look at the way the roots are running in there. That will most likely determine the front of the tree. Once I've looked at the front and decided where the front will be, I will then have to try and deal with this area here. There may also need to be some carving to get a little bit of movement and interest into this really rather uninteresting trunk line. So I shall start with taking the tree out of the pot and having a look at the roots, and then taking my decision. I've been spending sort of the last 5 or 6 minutes now to sort of carefully move this soil away from the roots. Now, being the middle of September, this is not really the ideal time to work on roots, so I'm taking this pretty carefully. I haven't watered this tree for the last 2 days or so, to make the removal of the soil a little easier, and as you see, I'm trying not to tear any of these roots as I'm working away, untangling and getting the soil out of there. So this will probably take me a couple more minutes. As you can see, I'm working from the top down to try and reveal this root run and get to a stage where I can see some surface roots, some strong surface roots, and also to try and untangle these long circling roots that have obviously formed while the tree was in this pot. Now all the soil has been removed from those roots, and I managed to do that without major disturbance to the roots. As you can see, there's these roots are quite long, and I might have to sort of certainly shorten the bottom third in order to sort of regenerate those, because these long circling roots are not suitable for bonsai. Now what it has shown now is that I have a reasonable trunk flare at the bottom, although there's no visible roots that could be used as a surface root. It'll give me in the pot a reasonable flare, and there's some major sort of stronger roots that could be developed into surface roots as I go along with the training of this tree. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, I've finished with the work on the roots, and I've put the tree into a small oval pot. I would have preferred a round pot. Unfortunately, I only had an oval pot sitting around, so that will have to do for the initial styling. Now, maybe just a couple of words of why I've chosen this to be the front. First of all, there is a little bit of interest going on at the bottom here. There's a root that flares out, and also there's a small amount of movement in this bottom end here that I can maybe exaggerate a little bit with some carving or a shari that might work up this trunk. The other thing is it hides this area here where we've got the 2 branches coming out and where there's a little bit of inverse taper. So looking at this from this side, I will now have to make a decision on how to place these branches. Now, the reason why I've got this big area of branch at the back here is that I want to counterbalance the top and the apex of the tree. If I would leave the tree moving all into that direction, it'll look very unstable. So what I'm trying to do is counterbalance the weight, the visual weight of this area with an area that's sitting around here on the tree, to give me a little bit of balance and to stop the tree looking as if it would topple over any minute. So I shall start and apply the wire now, and then place the branches and see how I can achieve that balance. Okay, as you can see, I've applied the wire on this main branch here. I've applied a strong 5mm wire to give me the basic angle of the tree, and then wired every branch to facilitate the placement. Now, the reason why I work with this branch and why I've roughly placed it into the position that it will end up in is that determines the placement of all the other branches. The balance, this is the balance for the tree, and that means that visually this is the point where the viewer enters the image of the tree. So from here I will now determine how to place the rest of these branches, and also I'm going to try and make a decision if I want to gin this branch here and bring it up to the top to give me a bit more visual interest. So I'm going to work on that in a minute. I'm just going to wire all these branches now, and then I will see what I will do with those. Okay, now I've completed the wiring and the preliminary placement of the branches now. As you see, I've decided to gin that branch that was sort of a fairly large branch at the top. Two reasons for that. There was 3 branches coming out of this junction here, which would in time give me an inverse taper there. So I decided to take and gin one of those branches, which also gives me a bit of visual interest at the top of the tree. As you can see, I've made that into quite a triangular shape now, which is a classical conifer shape. There is some fine wiring to do now to place the branch tips, and to just sort of define that shape as it stands. So as you can see, the placement of the branches is now in a balance that holds this tree steady in that small pot. It's not quite as sparse as many literati that you see. That's mainly because there's a lot of new buds on this tree, and I want to make sure that those can develop for next year, and it probably will be cut back. Branch here, it's definitely got too much foliage on it, but at the moment, to keep that image for the photograph that we'll be taking of that tree for the competition, I think it's important to keep the visual weight of that to make the tree stable in the pot. The tree is now fully wired, and all the branches have been placed as far as reasonably possible. Now, when I did the fine wiring, I have to be a bit careful of the buds that are sitting on this tree. I've not removed too much foliage. Again, I'll try and encourage this tree to back bud next year, so I need these buds that are sitting here in these leaf axils to push out so I can cut them back next year to force the back budding on the tree. The general shape of the tree is now established. It sits solidly in the pot, and it'll probably stay in that now for a year or two, getting some heavy feeding extra growth. I'll just turn that round for you so you can get a bit of a 360 view of this. And as I said, that is more or less the completed tree. There will be some fine tuning going on before the final photograph's taken. The pot needs cleaning, the bark needs cleaning up a little bit, but other than that, this is the tree as I shall be submitting it. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again. Bye.